It's now time for the morning show on XL7-TV.
Welcome to the morning show on XL7-TV. I'm Bob Rectenwald. This is Scooter.
Whoop, whoop.
Scott Callis.
How are you?
Peachy.
Just peachy, huh?
Peachy.
Okay. We'll go with peachy.
If we ever get to plum, we're in trouble.
Plum. I don't think I've ever heard plum. I've heard peachy quite a few times, but I don't think I've heard plum. Not sure exactly what that means, but okay.
You know, when you're plum, you're just straight up and down. You're just level on the level. Just good.
What's peachy?
Yeah, fuzzy.
Okay. Gotcha.
That is all.
Peachy, plum.
Peachy and plum.
Okay.
How's your day yesterday?
It was all right. It was all right. Just trying to get a bunch of stuff done, but
Are you
I
getting
had a
anything
good
done?
day. I don't know. I seem to be getting more further behind than I do forward. So.
Mm-hmm. Wrestling coach ain't looking so bad, huh?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I wouldn't have time at this point.
Everything else good? Kids are doing well in college?
They are. Got
Mighty Mouse
Austin
acclimated.
in Fayetteville. He's got his little group that he's with now that he hangs out with, and he's been doing his classes. It's been easy so
That's
far.
the important part. Is he actually going to class?
Yes, and it's been easy so far, but I'm sure that's going
Times will
to
change.
Yeah. Yeah, Caitlin's down in Memphis, and she's cutting and learning all the parts and all the stuff. So
It's good.
she's got her first test Friday.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm sure she'll do fine.
I'm sure she'll be just wonderful.
She always gets a little anxious when tests come up, so
Yeah,
she'll be fine.
I would too.
She'll be fine.
Yeah, good deal.
And you?
Well, got an issue with my drainage at my house all of a sudden. I don't know what the deal is.
That ain't good.
Going to call Hog Wild today and see. The sinks are all fine. The toilets are all fine. The bathtub and the shower is all fine. Just the wash machine.
Something's got to be plugging.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Or is your washing machine pumping the water out?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you got a clog somewhere.
It's going to be fun.
Got a clog somewhere in it.
Always something.
Something got in there, clogged it up.
I don't know what. How about a morning prayer?
All right.
Brought to you by Roller Funeral Home of Arkansas. With all our respect, it's not just their motto, it's the way they do business. With 29 locations to serve you, one in Memphis, Tennessee. And now the morning prayer. Lord, just thank you for the cooler weather that you've given us. Lord, the reprieve from all the heat. We thank you for that. Lord, we just thank you for what you do for us and mean to us in our daily walk. Lord, we just praise you for the world that we're living in, and we just pray that you will continue to bless us as a nation. Please be with our government from the federal level all the way down to the state level. Lord, we just thank you for that, and we just pray that you'll be with the county, the city, and all those involved. Lord, we just continue to pray for our students as we have a new school year that has started, and we just pray that they will continue to be safe throughout their days in all the areas that they are. Lord, we just pray that you will be with the people in Florida as the hurricane has made a shift to the northeast. Lord, we just pray that you will be with those in the path of it and that it would not be devastating for them to deal with. In all these things we pray in Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
Roller Funeral Home, Highway 5 North, just past Hospital Drive on the right-hand side of the road. Look for the biggest American flag you've probably ever seen. Pull in there, talk to them about cemetery plots, funeral services, the mausoleum, pre-planning.
Pre-planned. That's hard to say 3 times.
In a hurry.
Yeah.
Pre-planning is probably one of the most important things you could do to help your family out in their time of sorrow. If you get it all done, it makes it a lot easier. Roller Funeral Home, 870-425-2161 is their number. Give them a call and let them help you. And now we're going to take a quick word from Bob and Linda Zadora, the Z-Team, Century 21 Lee Mack Realty. 870-405-0793 is their number. retiredtoarkansas.net is their website. We'll be back in just a moment.
Oh, honey, we've had such a wonderful vacation here in the Ozarks. I really hate to go home.
I know. The lakes, the rivers, they've all been great for fishing. Oh, and the boating and the swimming.
And the people are so nice in the stores and restaurants.
Let's call an agent and see if we can make Mountain Home our new home.
Call the Z-Team, 870-405-0793. Century 21 Lee Mack Realty, 1024 Highway 62 East Mountain Home.
870-405-0793. Hello, Z-Team?
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. It's time for the weather, the lake levels, dam reports, all brought to you by Bob and Linda Zadora, the Z-Team, Century 21 Lee Mack Realty, 870-405-0793. Let's take a look at what we got going on in the river.
Can actually see it today.
You can see the river today. If you go to retiredtoarkansas.net, click on live views, this is what you get to see. That's not a still shot. That's an actual live view of the White River from the Marion County side. Back into the Baxter County side, you're looking at the city of Cotter with the Rainbow Bridge to your left, Contractors Trust to your right, the baseball fields and the city park straight ahead. Way off in the distance is the state of Missouri. Off to your right would be the city of Mountain Home. To your left would be the city of Bull Shoals. Whoa.
It just reflickered is all it did.
We got our other shot. Got that other shot?
Yeah, let me jump over. All right.
And you can see that that is a live shot because the ripple's in the water. Again, you can go to retiredtoarkansas.net, click on live views. There's probably 15, 16 different views that you can, it'll scroll throughout the day. But you can also go there to retiredtoarkansas.net, click on MLS listings, see what's available in our area. If you see something that tickles your fancy, you might click on that, give them a call at 870-405-0793. Let's see if it's still available. We'll run through some temperatures while that's scrolling through. Currently in Mountain Home is 65, Harrison is 66, Batesville is 65, Yellville 64, Marshall 63, Salem 67, Mountain View is 63, Calico Rock 65, West Plains, Missouri 67, Springfield, Missouri 64, Poplar Bluff, Missouri 64, and St. Louis, Missouri is 67. retiredtoarkansas.net. Don't forget, click on MLS listings, see what's available, and let them help you find your new home, your new piece of property, your new business, whatever you're looking for. Bob and Linda can give you a hand to find it. Let's take a look at the radar. Currently on the radar, you can see down in Florida, Georgia, part of Alabama, heading up through South Carolina into North Carolina. That hurricane is expected to take a northern turn and ride the east coast of the United States for probably a few days before it dissipates out. We'll zoom back into Arkansas. In our great state of Arkansas, from Rogers to Blytheville, from Fayetteville to Jonesboro, Fort Smith to Conway, Little Rock down to Pine Bluff, Hot Springs and Benton, Texarkana to Greenville, Mississippi, she's all clear. It'll be a good day to do something, Scooter.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Watches and warnings. What is this little red flag warning? What is a red flag warning? I have no idea. If I click on that, it might tell me. No. Winds gusting up to 35 miles an hour. That's what that is. Relative humidity falling into the teens by the afternoon. Fires may develop and spread rapidly. That's what a red flag warning is. The state of Louisiana is covered by that. Part of Texas and Mississippi. Arkansas is all clear except for this lower portion of the southeast. But all around us looks pretty good. This right here is going to be a nightmare for a few days. All this heavy rains and flash floods, high surf warning. 7-day forecast. Today sunny, high of 86. Tonight low of 57. Tomorrow sunny, high of 81. Low of 55. Friday high of 82. Low of 59. Saturday sunny, high of 86. Low of 67. And Sunday high of 87. Let's look into the first part of next week. Low Sunday night is going to be 69. Labor Day, high near 87 degrees, low near 70. 20% chance of showers on Tuesday, high of 89. Pollen and allergy. Tree pollen today is low, none tomorrow, none on Friday. Grass, high today, none tomorrow, low on Friday. And ragweed, high today, moderate tomorrow, and moderate on Friday. Lake levels and dam reports. Lake Norfolk. Lake level is 553.65, which is 1.65 above full pool of 552. Currently, generation is unavailable, so they've had zero on for quite a while. There is an update on that. I haven't read it yet. And Lake Bull Shoals, 658.78, which is 0.22 above full pool of 659. Currently generating 1 at minimum flow, just to keep it so you can still fish.
That's a good thing, though.
I'm telling you. That's the lake levels, dam reports, and all the updates brought to you by Bob and Linda Zadora, the Z-Team, Century 21 Lemac Realty, 870-405-0793, retiredtoarkansas.net. These are realtors you can recommend to your friends. I always say they're busy, but never too busy to help you. You're watching The Morning Show on XL7-TV. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hi, Brett, Fritz, and Paisley here at Mower Warehouse on Buzzard Roost Road. Mower Warehouse has the largest selection of Ferris zero-turn mowers in stock. 0% financing available. Mower Warehouse also services all brands of mowers. We offer free delivery. Come see us for all your mower needs. That's Mower Warehouse on Buzzard Roost Road, where your business is appreciated.
Going on now through June. Up to $500 off select mowers at Mower Warehouse. With no money down and payments as low as $89 per month.
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. It's time for community news and happenings brought to you by Mower Warehouse of Arkansas, Mountain Home, Arkansas. Mower Warehouse of Arkansas. They expanded.
Oh, they expanded? Okay. That wouldn't surprise me.
Mower Warehouse is the local authorized dealer for Ferris mowers with the cool coil spring suspension, and they service about anything. If you have a mower that's down, you can't get it to them, give them a call. They'll be glad to pick it up and bring it to their shop, work on it, and bring it back to you. They have parts for about anything, don't they, Scooter?
They do. They got wall-to-wall parts, and they carry parts for most brands. That they're not going to carry everything. I mean, little items, but I know they'll do their best to find you something that'll work or get the part in that you need.
There you go. Weed eaters, blowers, you name it. They've
generators.
Today and tomorrow's the last 2 days of the rebates.
Yes, and they're big rebates, so you need to get in there right away. You want to save some money, most of it like $500. And they also offer financing as far as no money down and 0% financing. So they can get you into a mower without killing your pocketbook.
Without killing your pocketbook. Let's read this one more time here. The Military Past and Present First Responders Appreciation Night is September the 1st, which is Friday. There will be a dinner at 6 o'clock for the military first responders and a +1 guest. That you should have been registered for that already. They're giving away a T-shirt to each one of those, and it's for the emergencies, EMTs, paramedics, fire departments, police departments, and any military of any branch. They just want to let you know how much they appreciate you, what you do if you're still present, or if you are a past or a retired military. They just want to do something in appreciation of you. And that'll be during the Harrison football game on Friday. It's about time for registration for the boats to start fishing in that Baxter Health tournament, Scooter.
Yes, it's coming up.
The registration will begin on September the 18th, 2023. If you want some more information about that, give them a call at 870-508-2273. The entry fee is $250 for a boat for 2 people to be fishing, and they are allowed only 75 boats.
That's it.
That's it.
Better sign up now.
Better get her signed up. You ever fished in a big tournament like that?
No.
Me neither.
Nope.
Me neither.
I'm not that good on the lakes.
Looks like White River Marine Group is going to be closing their Midway facility, moving all the operations to Flippin. That's not a good thing for our area. They don't have a date on when they're going to do that, but with any luck, they'll move it back in the near future. Portion of Highway 9 is closed in Fulton County, so if you're going from Oxford up to Salem, you're going to have to find another way to go, because it's going to be temporarily closed through traffic. And what else we got here? Looks like the attendance numbers for the fair were down due to the heat, which doesn't surprise me at all. And other than that, I don't know that we've got anything else. How about you, Scooter? You got anything?
I don't really have anything.
Nope, kind of slowed down a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is okay.
Now the school's kind of started up. Everything's kind of leveling out.
Plum.
We'll go with that.
There you go. That's Community News and Happenings brought to you by Mower Warehouse at Mountain Home. Highway 178 East out toward the bypass. You'll know you're there when you see the mowers in the air. You're watching the morning show on XL7-TV. We'll be back in a few moments.
Have you ever noticed every time you wash your car, you end up wetter than the actual car? Next time, run down to Car Care and let the friendly staff put a smile on your face. Car Care of Mountain Home has a variety of services to clean your vehicle's needs, inside and out. From a simple wash and shine to their outstanding detailed services. Located 1525 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. Stop by Car Care Mountain Home today, because driving a clean car always makes you feel good.
When you think about Hospice of the Ozarks, it's our desire that you think about finding a way to live your life to the fullest while living with a serious illness. If you ever need help and support, we provide a team of healthcare professionals and volunteers that will support your physical, emotional, and spiritual aspects of life while doing the same for your family and caregivers in the comfort of your own home or wherever you call home. When you think about Hospice of the Ozarks, we hope that you grant us permission to walk on the journey with you. Your not-for-profit option since 1979.
When you're out of town, make sure your pet is with someone who will love them as much as you do. At 201 Pet Salon and Resort, your pet is cared for just as they would be at home. 201 Pet Salon and Resort is the only all-suite climate-controlled and air-filtered boarding facility in the area with private and spacious rooms to keep your pet relaxed. And with over 3/4 of an acre of fenced play area, your pet will receive the proper exercise they deserve. 201 also offers professional grooming services. Your best friend is in good hands at 201 Pet Salon and Resort in Mountain Home.
All you've ever wanted was a place to write your story. You hear it's not the right time to buy or sell a house, but really, the best time is when it's right for you. The real estate markets, they change, they go up, they go down. One thing that doesn't change is where you want to be in your life. The professionals you team up with will make your story happen. The Z Team are the professionals you need to hire for your next chapter. So call the Z Team at 870-405-0793, Century 21 Lemac Realty, 1024 Highway 62 East, retiredtoarkansas.net.
Are you looking for the best barbecue in 2 states?
Holy smokes!
Want the meatiest fall-off-the-bone ribs?
Holy smokes!
The most tender and delicious pulled pork?
Holy smokes!
The tastiest brisket in the Ozarks?
Holy smokes!
Holy Smokes Barbecue and Catering is the only place you need to go. Dine in, carry out, and the best food for your next catered event.
Holy smokes!
We're your mountain home for great barbecue cooking.
Holy smokes!
A higher calling for your taste buds.
Jim Brown Company keeps you cool when it's hot and warm when it's not. A trusted name in the mountain home community, Jim Brown Company provides timely heating and cooling installation and repairs. Our certified technicians incorporate new technology on every job to provide you with the most advanced services. At our metal fabrication shop, we handle projects big and small. We've created everything from commercial ducts to custom designs.
I'd recommend Jim Brown Company to my friends and neighbors. The reason being they have high-tech equipment, their service techs are well qualified for the job that they do, and they also send me a report after all the work is done so I know exactly what my unit's doing.
By visiting our showroom, you can learn all about our heating and cooling products. We'll educate you on your options and help you decide on the right solution. For total comfort at your home or business, choose Jim Brown Company. Quality service with a family name since 1964.
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. This morning we've got with us the Chief of Police, Eddie Griffin, and the Assistant Chief, Robert McCoy from City of Mountain Home. How are y'all?
Doing great. Doing good.
Peachy, huh?
Never better.
Yeah. Scooter didn't know what plum meant.
He didn't.
You know, plum is like you just right on the level.
Well, there's various meanings. Like a plum wore out, you know.
See?
You know, I mean, but right on level, absolutely.
Yeah. Peachy. Well, he said, well, what's peachy mean? I said, a little fuzzy.
Plum.
A little fuzzy. How's things in the city?
Great. Doing good. Plugging along.
Plugging along?
Yep, and like y'all said a little while ago, school's back in session, everything kind of getting back to normal. Just getting back in the rhythm of things.
Yeah. Let's talk about personnel first before we get going too strong. I went to lunch yesterday and ran into an officer I hadn't met yet, and that's kind of unusual for me.
Yeah,
and I still haven't met him because the guy that was with him didn't introduce him. I'll have to get on.
Was he
him
with
about
Tyler
that.
Pleat?
No, he was with Rocky. They were having lunch.
I'm trying to. Oh,
Petty.
Might have
Petty.
been.
Petty.
Yeah, Keith
Oh,
Petty.
Keith Petty.
Officer
Yeah.
Keith Petty.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hired him about a year ago, something like that. He was working at the prisons, which worked for us. We've got so many new ones. Sometimes I have to sit and run names in my head or think who it is. But no, we've got several people that a lot that's been there less than 3 years.
Okay. So who are the newest that you've added? This is a test.
Jimmy Carpenter is our newest officer.
Okay, where's he from?
He's actually from here, graduated from Mountain Home High School.
Okay.
Spent the last 17, 18 years over in Griffin County Sheriff's Department.
Okay.
And I decided he wanted to finish out his career at home.
Good.
So moved back a few months.
And where's Petty from?
Petty's from this area, isn't he? I believe. I mean, he's been here a long time, but I don't know where he went to school at or anything like that. But, I know he'd been out working down at the prison for some time.
Good.
So,
Does Mountain Home have a canine officer at this time?
right now we have Danielle has one in the schools.
Sure, for the SROs. But is there another active dog?
We're going to have another one. Yeah. It's hopefully by the end of the year we'll have one out on the streets.
Who's going to be the handler? Do you know yet?
Jared Medina.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll be back in the canine business.
Those be handy for you?
They are. The dogs we've had in the past, they've been what's traditionally called dual purpose dogs, and this is going to be a single purpose. I kind of like the idea of it not having the ability to bite, just to where you can take it to schools, let kids see it and interact with it. Kind of a good tool to let kids get close to the police and see that we're not what maybe you have heard or seen on TV sometimes.
Mm-hmm. What will be the difference between the new dog and the one Danielle has then?
Well, hers is not a dual purpose dog either. The dogs we've had in the past is what we call, they would have the ability to bite on command. Now Danielle's dog also will hit on gunpowder, being in the schools.
Okay.
Where this dog will not.
Okay.
This is strictly a drug dog.
How expensive are those dogs?
They're about $9,000 to purchase the dog and have the handler trained. So
because not only do you have to train the animal, you've got to train the handler.
Yeah. They typically get the dog in. They work with the dog for about a month, and then we'll have the handler go down, train for a couple weeks, and he's got to be certified through the state and all that. And then annually get recertified, and the dog has to be recertified, and just the whole process. But they can do a lot.
Chief, have you been on since Officer McCoy's become the assistant chief?
I don't think I have. If I have, I don't remember.
We should introduce him to the public.
It's Robert McCoy. He's been with the Mountain Home Police Department for a little over 20 years.
Yes.
He's also in the Army National Guard. How long have you been in the Guard?
September 22nd, I'll be in my 28th year.
28th year, so he's currently a major. His next step would be Lieutenant Colonel, so we'll all have to address him as Colonel McCoy when that happens, but no, it's he's been there a long time, spent the majority of his time in patrol, and was promoted to Assistant Chief after Bubba retired.
There you go.
So,
Robert, how do you like it?
I enjoyed quite a bit. It was a good change of pace. Obviously, with kind of my background with the military and stuff like that, the administrative role I kind of slid into fairly easy. Just learning the new platforms I'm operating under.
Yeah.
So it's been going pretty good.
Seen a lot of the years that you were in patrol.
I spent 16 years on night shift. So staying on day shift last few years in patrol and then coming to the admin side of the house has been it's been nice. It's a good change of pace.
Gives you a whole new view on how your wife has been running the family, huh?
That's right.
Because you haven't been able to help out at night much.
No.
Yep. You've got 2 children. You've got a young lady in your home, Olivia. She's what, sophomore this year?
She is. Yeah, she's 15 now, over at the high school now.
And Braden has graduated and
attending the ASU Mountain Home here.
And running his own business and trying to get into the rental business as well.
Yeah, he's got a couple different small business ideas he's trying to kick off right now. That's kind of where he's focusing on, and he's also pursuing a career path in business.
Good. Good.
So it's exciting, fun to watch him grow.
Yeah. Yep. Where'd you go to school at?
I went to school in Monmouth, Illinois, which actually I went to a high school, and it's called Yorkwood. It's not even a high school anymore, but very small farming community up in Illinois.
What was the name of it?
Yorkwood.
Yorkwood.
Yeah, graduating class of like 31 people.
Oh my gosh.
It was pretty small.
It's not much bigger than Cotter.
No. But I've been here for most of my adult life.
What
now.
brought you to Mountain Home?
My wife.
Okay.
I got some family down here. Came down here on vacation. We met, and things seemed to be going the right direction. And looking at where I lived up there to compare to here, I was like, Mountain Home's got to be my area. So
there you go.
Decided to move down here.
Eddie, your family's your kids are older.
They are.
Grandbabies?
I wish.
Not yet.
No, I want one bad. Holy cow. I wish you hadn't even brought that up. I'll get all emotional. I want one so bad. But
I got a couple out, Rich.
Good. Well, I see a couple of your little girls down at the PD on occasion, and they're sure cute. But no, I've got a son that's 34 and one that's 28.
There you go.
So I'd like to have one.
Ready for that.
I am. I am.
The personnel and the equipment that you guys have been able to purchase with the I don't remember the name of that public safety tax.
Yes.
Thank you. Has been well updated since my time on the city council.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you're going to be sustainable to be able to keep things upgraded and new annually, biannually? How does that working for you?
It's been a game changer. It truly has. You know, if you talk to Chief Manuel, you know, and as you know from being on the city council so many years, I mean, it was just a struggle to get by.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I don't think people really would appreciate the level of, you know, where we would put off things such as maintenance on a car until after the new year to get things fixed that we needed fixed. So to just have the equipment that we need, and you know, just to be able to operate where you're not just struggling to where you want to provide a great service, but you know what it takes, but you don't have the funding for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I remember many years, and I think it goes to the quality of the employee, where the employees wouldn't be asking for a pay raise; they would be asking for equipment to properly do their job. And you know, that's a pretty reasonable request, and so it's very nice.
From the days of Chief Phil Frame to Kari, there was a big change in the availability of funds, and then now from what Kari was into where you're at today, it's the difference between being reactive and proactive.
Correct.
Now you can plan ahead and say, okay, we can do this, we can get this bought, we can do this with these funds, and then, or going, yeah, can't change the oil in Unit 21 because we ran out of money in that line item, so we have to wait till 3 months before that can happen.
That's true.
But it's for the safety of the officers, not only the police department, the fire department as well.
Absolutely.
So I imagine they've seen a big change too.
Oh, they have. You know, and I can't tell you the year models and stuff, but in talking to Chief Quick, you know, they had some fire trucks that were extremely old and, you know, didn't serve the purpose anymore, but they were just getting by, doing the best they could. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's changed the PD, FD tremendously, but it also has changed the city across the board because it frees up some funding elsewhere,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to grow different things. So it's really been a game changer.
With that, we'll take a break. You're watching the morning show on XL7-TV. We'll be back in just a moment.
Diatley Dental Care is a family-owned dental practice. Doctors Irvin and Christina Diatley grew up in the Twin Lakes area and are proud to serve the community. With modern treatment methods and state-of-the-art technology, they are dedicated to providing exemplary care to patients of all ages. Our compassionate team consistently receives training above and beyond the standard of care.
We're changing the way you see dentistry.
Come be a part of our dental family.
Overhead Door, a garage door company that has been with your family from the beginning, through all the ups and downs of life. From the small repairs to making your vision a reality. Overhead Door, your trusted garage door expert since 1921. Be sure you're getting the genuine, the original overhead door service.
Call Overhead Door Company of North Arkansas today in Mountain Home. At Letty's Mexican Restaurant, we're here to keep you safe during these difficult times, as well as serve you the best Mexican food in the area. That's why we've installed a convenient pickup window for all your to-go and pickup orders, as well as a covered outdoor seating area. Give us a call at 870-435-2532 to order your next meal. And don't forget, Letty's also provides catering for small parties or big events. Experience the best in Mexican cuisine. Letty's in Gassville. If you're looking for something wonderful and delicious, head on over to Paradise Cream for a homemade for 20 flavors like German chocolate cake and sea salt caramel. It's always homemade and delicious. Paradise Cream has something for everyone and also carries dairy-free and vegan ice cream options. So whether you like it in a cup or in one of their homemade waffle cones, you're in for a wonderful dessert experience. Located in Mountain Home next to Ramada Inn or at their Harrison address across from Pizza Hut and Castle Rental. Let Paradise Cream cater your next event because you're on your way to paradise.
Well, folks.
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. This morning my guest is Eddie Griffin, the Chief of Police for Mountain Home, and the Assistant Chief, Robert McCoy. You know, last week in the council meeting last Thursday night, they voted on a camera system for the city of Mountain Home. Some people think that was tabled. It has not been tabled. It was been passed through the first reading. If you don't understand how that works, is there's a first, second, and third reading and final adoption of that. They did not suspend the rules and vote to pass it all in one night, so therefore it'll go through 3 separate meetings unless they decide to do that, suspending the rules and pass it sooner. Can you tell me what those cameras are about?
Yeah, they're public safety cameras, and we kind of started this project. It's been over a year ago. At several intersections, there's cameras that the street department has, RDOT cameras that aren't recorded or anything, that we ran fiber. So the police department and the street department partnered on getting the fiber up and running for their cameras, and now we're to the point that we want to install cameras. The cameras that we would install would be recorded where the ones that are currently there, just so the street department can make sure the lights are functional and you can pull them up on RDOT and see what's going on. But ours would be recorded, and they would also have the ability to search for a license plate and analytics. So say if Amber Alert is put out in Harrison, a kid was abducted or something like that, the camera system could search for that LPN, because often when something happens, you don't know if the offender's in your town or if they're on the road headed, so just any information is really significant. And basically what we would be gathering would be, the car, the license plate. So it's not, somebody asked me at the meeting the other night if it's like facial recognition, stuff like that, and it's absolutely not. And I know a lot of folks are concerned with privacy, and the last thing any of us wants to do is violate somebody's constitutional rights or get too much in somebody's business. But you've got to understand, if you do wrong, we already have a lot of stuff to track you if you're carrying your cell phone, if your car has OnStar, so if you're not doing wrong, you'll never hear from us. But one thing that I think is key on this is, you know, in my mind, it's to solve crime, and it's not, you know, not to say we won't solve a small crime, you know, but I'm not worried about somebody stealing yard ornaments as much as I am somebody doing something.
Stealing a kid.
Yeah, stealing a kid or killing somebody. And, you know, I was thinking last night, because I know some of the things that are being said, and you'll certainly remember this, but in 2006, Dr. Milstein was killed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the person that killed him was Gary Parks. He's in prison currently. He left Maumelle, Arkansas by Little Rock, drove to Mountain Home in the middle of the night on, I think it was June 16, 2006, killed Dr. Milstein and drove back. We made an arrest in 2013, I believe it was. I believe it was might have been 2012, 6 years later. And ultimately he pled out to second-degree murder. So that case was ultimately got as good as it did off of cell tower information. But had we had these cameras, we would have saw his car coming into Mountain Home in the middle of the night on June 16th, and it would have totally changed that case. Well, he ultimately pled to second-degree murder and got 20 years. That the family agreed to that. They were okay with that because it wasn't the strongest case in the world. Sometimes you don't have the smoking gun. But I believe, and it's just my opinion, if we'd have had those cameras and we'd have had him on video, it would have been a first-degree murder case or a capital case. If he's convicted a first degree, likely he would never got out of prison. But if it's capital, it could have been a death penalty case. Furthermore, he's a suspect in another murder. So, and he got 20 years in, I think it was 2014 when that happened. So he'll be, if he does all his time, if he goes flat on his time, he'll get out in 2034. But that's a 70% offense. So he could potentially be out here like in 2028. And it's just my opinion. But if we'd had those cameras, I bet he'd never hit the street again. And that's what I'm wanting to prevent.
So what happens to the data?
It will be, so data that is not used for criminal purposes will be stored. Right now, we're looking at 20 days.
20 days.
20 days now, and it's stored on the cloud. It's not on a server at the police department or anything like that. It'll go off. Now, along with the Arkansas law dictates how long you keep anything pertaining to a crime. So like if you had an image that ultimately led to a kidnapping, rape, homicide, something like that, it'll be stored indefinitely. But if it's a lesser offense, like if it was a stolen vehicle, I think it's like a 7-year retention before we can get rid of stuff. But so it depends on the issue.
So throughout the day, this camera is recording everything that happens at 62
Correct.
By the bypass.
Correct.
Something happens, and you can go back and retrieve that data and search. You can type in a license plate number, and it will search through that.
Correct.
Is that the way that will work?
Correct. And one thing I need to say too, Arkansas law, and I can't remember the number off the top of my head. It may be 562-111, but it prevents you from using it for traffic purposes, red lights and seat belts and stuff like that. But yes, so with the analytics of the camera, if something happens at your house, somebody does something and your neighbor says, about noon I saw a red truck. Well, we can go in a time frame and search for red trucks that goes through, what might be the most common route.
Sure.
Well, obviously there's a lot of red trucks, so just because a red truck went through an intersection, it doesn't mean I can come to your house or do anything, but that's just to develop a potential lead. You still have to do the police work to put the case together to see what's out there. But now, if say they steal your zero-turn mower and it's on a trailer, and it's a red truck, and we put this stuff in, we identify it, we come and say, do you think this is your mower? Oh yeah, that's the brand I had, and it looks very much like it. Well, our ability to talk to that person gets a lot better, because it's pretty reasonable thinking Mountain Home, Arkansas, a red truck goes through with a trailer and a mower on it, but you're building a case, so it's just because we have an image, it doesn't mean that we can go do stuff. You still have to develop a case and go from there. So I'm, me personally, I was a detective for 20 years. things like DNA are huge, fingerprints, and stuff like that. But you got to realize, most people's DNA is not on file. Their fingerprints are not on file unless, maybe you were in the military, maybe you've had a job that required it, or concealed carry or something like that. But all of us and many of your viewers have a vehicle sitting out in their driveway with a license plate on it. We're just wanting to use the technology out there, because you got to realize, without question, the bad guys are using technology. I don't care if it's bad guys in China that's hacking the United States. I don't care if it's somebody that's sitting on a computer and doing identity theft and taking mining your identity. Bad guys are using technology. So we can either use it or we can ignore it and just really hope it don't happen to us.
It's not like there's going to be somebody sitting at the PD 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, watching that film going, oh, there's Johnny Smith.
No.
There's Billy Bob Jackson.
No, we don't have time for that.
How many cameras do they talk about setting up?
9. And it's 9 at various intersections. And, one thing that has been said and is true, that to some level, this is a start. Something I said at the council meeting. So this system would allow, if somebody allows us to tie into their system, not, we can't go hacking into somebody's system, but if the school allows us to tie it into their system, say if they have it, well, you got to understand, if the most horrible thing happens that we see happen around the country is at one of our schools, when people like me and Robert show up, unless we hear something that directs us to a specific location, we do a slower search to try to find the bad guy. Well, imagine if our dispatcher if we get that call that the worst thing is happening to our kids, and our dispatcher can log in and see in real time and say, hey Eddie, hey Robert, the bad guy is on hallway D, so you pass A, B, and C. Now, is that the possibility to save a kid's life? Mm-hmm. Me personally, I'm willing to give up a little privacy to do that. And I know I'm talking worst case scenario, but I think if you talk to a lot of people in law enforcement, military, or a lot of different occupations, fire, EMS, we pray for the best, but train for the worst.
And plan for the worst.
And that's all we're doing. If you're, we have seatbelt laws. I want you to wear your seatbelt. You may get a ticket if we catch you not wearing it, but ultimately, you're a grown man. I'm not too worried about that. I'm worried about your little grandkids. Mm-hmm. And that's where I stand, and I'm sorry that I get a little excited, but I'm pretty passionate about it because, this is important, but if it's voted down, I'll still show up to work next day and do my best.
Robert, what's your take on those?
Well, we're seeing this type of system, this technology being utilized in cities very similar to our size across the state, and we're seeing the importance and the amount of investigative, what kind of evidence that's bringing to the table for investigations and being able to solve these crimes and utilizing these type of systems. And it's just a game changer. It really is. It's kind of like what Chief said about DNA. The technology nowadays that's coming into play. It just kind of changes the level of the field because these bad guys are already utilizing these same type of technology right now. So we're trying to get on the same field as those guys as well as these other cities, so we can use this technology to better serve the community, be more professional.
What is the law in Arkansas as far as camera tickets? You know what I mean?
That's the statute I referred to. It's illegal. Arkansas state law prevents it.
How can you give a ticket to a vehicle and not the driver?
Yeah.
I loan Robert my truck and he goes blowing through every red light in town, and I get 5 tickets and I go, wait a minute, I wasn't even driving it.
But I don't know how close the closest one is, but I think toll booths are a thing of the past. If your vehicle goes to the toll, you get something in the mail to pay your deal. But yeah, that's illegal. And you also have to realize that for us, if we wanted to use it other than what we're saying, so many hurdles would have to, like just because I want to do it, the city council could come in and say, hey, we're not using those cameras anymore. State law would have to change. So we're governed by, there is definitely a checks and balance across the board. So, we're just wanting to keep the community safer and solve more crimes.
There you go. With that, we'll take a break. Be back in just a moment.
Well, folks, have you been trout fishing before?
Not since I was a little kid.
You'll do fine.
Hey, what are you doing?
Aren't you coming along?
See you downriver.
How do you start this motor? I've never been in a boat before.
See you downriver.
Well, folks, have you sold a house before?
Yeah, about 30 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, well, you'll be okay then.
You sure?
Where are you going?
See you at the closing.
Hey!
At the closing.
We should have called the Z-Team.
Hi, Brett, Fritz, and Paisley here at Mower Warehouse on Buzzard Roost Road. Mower Warehouse has the largest selection of Ferris zero-turn mowers in stock. 0% financing available. Mower Warehouse also services all brands of mowers. We offer free delivery. Come see us for all your mower needs. That's Mower Warehouse on Buzzard Roost Road, where your business is appreciated.
Going on now through June, up to $500 off select mowers at Mower Warehouse, with no money down and payments as low as $89 per month.
Have you ever noticed every time you wash your car, you end up wetter than the actual car? Next time, run down to Car Care and let the friendly staff put a smile on your face. Car Care of Mountain Home has a variety of services to clean your vehicle's needs, inside and out. From a simple wash and shine to their outstanding detailed services. Located 1525 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. Stop by Car Care Mountain Home today, because driving a clean car always makes you feel good.
When you think about Hospice of the Ozarks, it's our desire that you think about finding a way to live your life to the fullest while living with a serious illness. If you ever need help and support, we provide a team of healthcare professionals and volunteers that will support your physical, emotional, and spiritual aspects of life while doing the same for your family and caregivers in the comfort of your own home or wherever you call home. When you think about Hospice of the Ozarks, we hope that you grant us permission to walk on the journey with you. Your not-for-profit option since 1979.
When you're out of town, make sure your pet is with someone who will love them as much as you do. At 201 Pet Salon and Resort, your pet is cared for just as they would be at home. 201 Pet Salon and Resort is the only all-suite climate-controlled and air-filtered boarding facility in the area with private and spacious rooms to keep your pet relaxed. And with over 3/4 of an acre of fenced play area, your pet will receive the proper exercise they deserve. 201 also offers professional grooming services. Your best friend is in good hands at 201 Pet Salon and Resort in Mountain Home.
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7. You're kind of that kind of gruffly, Scooter. You know, we're talking about the security of the area and the importance of these cameras that the city council is talking about now. They've passed it through the first reading. You know, it's like I said earlier, it's not like somebody's spending 24 hours a day looking for something. It's going to be stored in a database, and the technology will search for what you're looking for if it's needed.
Correct.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a good thing, and I at the council meeting there was a gentleman that brought up several good points, but I think there's a misconception, you know, about what they're going to be used for. I mean, none of us want the government to be in our lives, to watch everything we're doing if we're doing good. I mean, it's like I said, there's not a single thing at my house illegal, but I don't want you or anybody else to come and search in my house.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't happen. You know, I'm not saying that mistakes haven't been made at some point in the past, here or there, whatever. But by and large, you know, we've got the best system out there, the best justice system. So, you know, maybe these make us better. You know, I just want to protect the community.
You know, the same negative input was back when we first decided to do body cams for the officers. Well, I don't want to record me when they're arresting me. Well, first of all, wouldn't have a problem if you weren't getting arrested.
Right.
And it's for your protection as much as it is the officer's protection.
You know, and most officers back then, and some still aren't a real big fan of them, but I can tell you from an administrative standpoint, so many times people complain, and I can pull that video up, and maybe what they remembered. I'm not saying they're not being truthful, but it doesn't always reflect how things are remembered. And I'll just tell you, recently I had a complaint. It was within the last year. A guy called and said, "Oh, you broke my kid's arm. Your guys did this. We're gonna sue all this." Well, so I log in, pull it up. The guy did break his wrist, but he was running from the police, tried to clear a 4-foot chain link fence, didn't make it, landed on the other side, broke his wrist. Our officer gets up there and he says, "I think I broke my arm." So we never touched him, So, and when I called his dad to tell him that, I said, "Come on up, I'll show you." "Oh, never mind. I don't need to." He didn't want to come and see the facts, but yeah, body cameras are, in my view, are awesome.
Self-inflicted stupidity.
Yeah,
exactly.
Don't run.
Yeah. The truth hurts, and sometimes when those cameras film it, it's. But it's also a good thing on the police department side. If it could slow things down or deter an attitude real quick. Once that suspect knows, look, you're being recorded. Right. So you go ahead and run your mouth. You're being recorded.
I had, I was shocked. I had one of the public defenders approach me within the last year and said, I love your body cameras. They're awesome. And I thought, really? I wouldn't have thought. And from his perspective, he said, I used to have so many clients that would come in and tell one story, and then the body camera would tell another story. And he said it just speeds up my process because he's trying to get a lot done, and it just takes away the somebody pulling your leg. And, I mean, if it's on video, it's on video.
Yeah. You had an officer involved in a vehicle accident last week on 5 South. What's the backup to that? Did the gentleman just turn in front of him? Is that what happened?
I believe it was a lady, but what happened, he was going to a head-on collision, I believe it was, and he was running code. So
which means?
Lights and sirens.
Okay.
So there was a car that was stopped in the traffic lane to make a left-hand turn. Well, he believed the car was stopped because he was running lights and sirens. And so when he went out to go around the car, that's when the car turned and they collided. So
injuries?
Yeah, he was transported to the hospital. He's banged up a little bit, but he's back on duty now. He's fine.
Everybody's okay.
Yeah, and the driver of the other car was fine. So just just one of those things, unfortunately.
The patrol vehicle's not so fine.
No. No. But it can be fixed. But no, it just one of those things, but luckily nobody was hurt seriously, and luckily the people in the head-on, I think they ultimately were okay. So
we just finished up Fair Week. How involved is the local PD with the Baxter County Fair? Do we supply officers to walk through there and patrol that, or is that strictly county?
County for the most part. Now our guys may walk through, but the sheriff's department handles that's their property. So should something happen in there, they would work the case. Now, depending on what it is, we may respond, be the first on the scene at times, but ultimately if there was a more significant crime there, they would come in and work the criminal case on it.
School started a couple of weeks ago. How's that transition going with the school buses and the school zones being busy?
Good, very good. Of course, we've got SROs in every building, and the patrol guys, they work the school traffic. So hopefully, whenever you're dropping off your little ones, you'll see a car out patrolling. Also, not only the SROs at the school, but we try to be very visible in those areas, and just do what we can, keep it moving.
What is the biggest offense that Click It and Ticket is here for the Labor Day weekend? Is somebody driving? How do you know they don't have a seatbelt on?
Well, the easiest way.
All right, Mr. Patrol, you've been there for a long time, especially at night in the dark.
Well, you station your vehicle in a position where you can see within the vehicle, usually through the front windshield, and you're your seatbelt's going to go across your shoulder and across your chest, so you can see you can actually see the seatbelt itself. If you can't see that the seatbelt's actually on and worn properly, then obviously you're not going to get stopped if you're wearing it correctly. But if you're wearing it incorrectly, pulled down so they can't see the seatbelt, or you don't have one on at all, there's a very high likelihood you'll probably be stopped for failure to wear a seatbelt.
Does that open it up for other things?
It does. Anytime we make any kind of a traffic stop for any type of a violation of the law, it could always lead to other things, whether this person's potentially suspect to driving under the influence of something, or if they have stolen property, or a number of other different offenses.
A lot of warrants.
Yeah. Most of our arrests come from the patrol division when it comes to just a simple traffic stop that leads to a number of other things that the subject's doing wrong.
How's the local crime as far as break-ins and that kind of thing going? Is that leveled out, or is there a spike on it? I know we had a couple of vehicles stolen in the last week, and
which the cameras may have helped with, to know they were gone. But it just varies. I feel like over the time, that I've been there, and Robert, heck, we between the two of us got a lot of time, but I don't know that there's really a distinguishable trend in Mountain Home on crimes. I mean, it just, you may have a busy stretch and then slow down, and it's just no telling.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Especially your bigger crimes. I mean, you'll see some petty things spiking a little, like, right at the end of the school year when all the kids are, small things like, ornaments get knocked over or something like that in someone's yard. You'll see kids, but nothing that's really stands out.
Anything, go ahead.
Well, and I'll start to say one thing that in my time I do think is much better is, we certainly don't make as many DWI arrests we used to, and I feel that people are much more intelligent about getting a DD. Where when I hired on, I think a lot of folks thought it was a sign of weakness if you get a DD. Where now, a lot of folks get a designated driver, and we're not in the business of hoping people make or do things wrong. We're in the business of trying to change the attitudes of people to where they do right. And I think we've done, or not we, society in general has done a good job of making it less acceptable to drive intoxicated.
You're talking about the cameras a little bit ago, and we're talking about different things that those cameras could be helping right now. We've got a 31-year-old missing gal that could have helped with that already.
It's so open. You just don't know till something happens whether it would make a difference or not. But I just don't think it could hurt.
Yeah. And I love the idea that they could be linked with the schools, and I didn't intend to come back to these cameras, but the more you sit here and think about them, the more good that you can think that they could do.
Schools, banks, any time of something of, imagine any type of hostage situation in anything. Fortunately, we don't have a lot of that until you do, so there's just a lot that could be done. And I mentioned at the council meeting, Harrison has license plate readers. Well, they had an instance where they received information that a person was going to go pick up a load of methamphetamine, and the person did, through license plate readers across Arkansas and Oklahoma. They tracked the car to Oklahoma. When it come back, stopped it in Harrison, made an arrest of 11 pounds of methamphetamine. And I'm sure a lot of people aren't really familiar with meth, but meth is traditionally sold by the gram, which is the equal sugar packet. I did the math on it, and I don't have it here in front of me, but it was somewhere in the area of 4,900 some odd grams of methamphetamine. Well, typically a meth user will use about a quarter gram at a time, so that gets up to about 20,000 doses of methamphetamine. And at the current rate price of methamphetamine in Mountain Home in Harrison, it'd be about $170 some odd thousand worth of meth.
Holy cow.
And they got that off the streets, and without question, no question, of that 11 pounds, if they hadn't made the rest, some of it would have made it to Mountain Home.
Oh, I guarantee you. Time for us to go. You've been watching The Morning Show on XL7-TV. We'll be back tomorrow.